Certainly. Here's an expanded and well-structured version of your speech, with additional details and elaboration to give it more depth. Why does Russia continue to trust India? This question isn't just about recent political moves, trade agreements, or diplomatic statements. The enduring bond between these two nations is rooted in a much deeper story, one that stretches back decades and is woven with shared goals, strategic understanding, and a profound historical connection that has withstood the tests of time and global upheavals. To truly understand why Russia still places trust in India, we must journey back to the mid-20th century, a pivotal era marked by the Cold War's ideological and geopolitical rivalry. During this period, most nations were compelled to choose sides, either aligning with the United States and its Western allies or with the Soviet Union. India, under the leadership of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, adopted a policy of non-alignment, seeking to steer a middle course that avoided entanglement in superpower conflicts. However, despite its official stance of non-alignment, India's foreign policy was heavily tilted towards the USSR. This was not merely a matter of diplomacy. It reflected a strategic choice driven by mutual interests and shared visions for development and security. The Soviet Union, recognizing India's significance as a burgeoning democracy and a leader in the non-aligned movement, extended substantial support to India, military, economic, and diplomatic. This support came at a time when Western nations were often hesitant to engage deeply with India's needs, owing to ideological differences or strategic concerns. Saw India as a vital partner, one that could serve as a counterbalance to Western influence in Asia and beyond. This early cooperation laid the foundation for a relationship built on trust and mutual benefit. A crucial moment that cemented this trust was the signing of the Treaty of Peace, Friendship and Cooperation in 1971 during India's conflict with Pakistan over Bangladesh. This treaty was more than a diplomatic gesture. It was a strategic alliance that signaled unwavering support from the Soviet Union. As the United States and China moved closer, culminating in the opening of diplomatic relations and shifting alliances, India found a reliable partner in the USSR. Soviet support played a decisive role in helping India counter external pressures and maintain its sovereignty. This moment demonstrated to India that, in times of crisis, the Soviet Union would stand firmly by its side, providing military backing and diplomatic shielding. It was a clear message. India's security and strategic interests mattered deeply to the USSR, and trust was born from this unwavering backing. Over the subsequent decades, this trust only deepened. The Soviet Union became India's primary supplier of advanced military hardware. Fighters like the MIGs series, tanks such as the T-55 and T-72, submarines and missile systems, tools that transformed India's defense capabilities. These were not mere arms deals, but symbols of a long-term partnership rooted in confidence and shared strategic objectives. The Soviet Union, and later Russia, didn't treat India as a fleeting strategic pawn. They regarded India as a partner with whom they could develop and share cutting-edge technology, ensuring India's self-reliance and security. When the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991, the world's geopolitical landscape was dramatically reshaped. Many alliances dissolved or became uncertain. Yet India and the newly formed Russian Federation reaffirmed their commitment to each other. Russia inherited the diplomatic legacy of the USSR's relationship with India, and both countries made conscious efforts to preserve and strengthen their bond. This continuity was not merely about nostalgia. It was a recognition that their relationship was built on a solid foundation of mutual interests, trust, and shared history. In the post-Cold War era, India embarked on a policy of diversification, forging stronger ties with the United States, Europe, and even China. Yet, it never abandoned Russia. Both nations found new avenues to deepen their cooperation, particularly in defense, energy, space exploration, and trade. India continued to procure military hardware from Russia, including aircraft carriers, nuclear submarines, and missile defense systems such as the S-400. These deals underscored a relationship rooted in trust rather than opportunism. Russia provided India with technologies and strategic partnerships that were difficult to obtain elsewhere. This was a relationship of reliability built on years of shared experiences and mutual understanding. Cultural exchanges further enriched this bond. From literature to cinema, from education to scientific collaboration, generations of Indians and Russians have grown up admiring each other's traditions, philosophies, and achievements. Thousands of Indian students have studied medicine, engineering, and science in Russian universities, forging personal and professional bonds that extend beyond politics. Russian literature, think Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, and Pushkin, has found a special place in Indian hearts. Conversely, Indian culture, music, and films have found enthusiastic audiences in Russian cities. These cultural ties have helped humanize the relationship, making it more than just strategic alliances. They have made it a friendship rooted in mutual respect and admiration. But trust isn't merely a matter of history or cultural affinity. It is actively maintained through contemporary actions and policies. In recent years, the global geopolitical landscape has become increasingly complex. The United States has tightened its grip on international affairs. China has risen as a global power, and Europe faces internal divisions. Against this backdrop, Russia and India have consciously doubled down on their strategic autonomy. Both countries resist pressure from external powers to conform or align unconditionally. They seek to chart their own paths, prioritizing sovereignty and mutual benefit. During the Russia-Ukraine conflict, India's stance exemplified this independent approach. While India called for peace and dialogue, it refrained from condemning Russia outright or joining Western sanctions. Instead, India focused on pragmatic measures, buying discounted Russian oil, engaging in diplomatic negotiations, and maintaining open channels of communication. Russia recognized India's loyalty, not because of coercion or fleeting interests, but because of a long-standing trust that has been built over decades. Despite the global push to isolate Russia, India maintained its independent stance, demonstrating that their friendship is not conditional or transactional, but founded on principles of mutual understanding and respect. Russia also values India's growing influence on the global stage. India's active role in multilateral organizations such as BRICS, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and the G20 highlights its importance as a stable, rising power. Russia sees India as a key partner, a bridge between the West and the East, capable of shaping global affairs with independence and strategic foresight. This partnership isn't just about military or economic cooperation. It's about shared visions for a multipolar world where both countries can act as counterweights to unilateral dominance by any single superpower. Defense cooperation continues to be a cornerstone of this relationship. Joint military exercises, technology transfer, and arms development initiatives like the BrahMos missile, developed jointly by India and Russia, are symbols of this strategic partnership. The BrahMos, known for its speed and precision, exemplifies the trust and technological synergy between the two nations. Russia's role in India's space program and nuclear energy projects further demonstrates the multifaceted nature of their relationship. These collaborations are not only about mutual benefit, they're about building a resilient partnership capable of adapting to changing global realities. Trade between Russia and India, while not as expansive as India's trade with China or the West, remains significant in quality and trust. Energy supplies, defense hardware, raw materials, and technological exchanges form the core of their economic relationship. Both nations are working on strengthening payment mechanisms, using national currencies and bypassing Western sanctions, signaling a commitment to resilience and independence. This pragmatic approach reflects a trust-based relationship, one that values reliability, shared interests, and the understanding that their partnership can withstand external pressures. Of course, no relationship is without its challenges. The growing closeness of Russia with China, India's increasing ties with the United States, and shifting global power dynamics will continue to test this friendship. Yet, the long history of mutual support Shared interests and cultural bonds provides a strong buffer against potential disagreements. Both countries understand that their relationship is built on more than fleeting interests. It is rooted in a shared recognition of each other's importance and a mutual desire to cooperate even amidst global uncertainties. In a world where alliances are often fleeting, transactional, and driven by short-term interests, the India-Russia friendship stands out as a rare example of genuine, resilient partnership. It is not merely about convenience, it's about reliability. It's about knowing that in times of crisis or calm, in war or peace, the other side will not abandon or betray. This enduring trust is why Russia continues to trust India, not because it has to, but because history, loyalty, and consistent actions over the years have proven that India is a friend worth holding on to. And in today's unpredictable and rapidly changing global landscape, such a friendship is more valuable and more priceless than ever before. Let me know if you'd like me to further expand on any specific sections.